The salt air of Portland's waterfront district mixed with the smell of fried fish and beer as Lieutenant Commander Maya Chen pushed open the heavy wooden door of the Anchor's Rest. Her sister, Dr. Sarah Chen, followed close behind, both women grateful to finally shed the tension of their grandmother's funeral earlier that day. "I just need one drink," Sarah said, her voice still raw from crying. "One drink, and then I can face going through Grandma's things tomorrow." Maya squeezed her sister's hand. "We'll get through this together. We always do." The bar was dimly lit, its walls covered with faded maritime photographs and fishing nets. A handful of patrons sat scattered throughout, dock workers mostly, still in their coveralls, nursing beers after their shifts. The sisters chose a corner booth away from the main floor. A young waitress approached with a tired smile. "What can I get you ladies?" "2 whiskeys, neat," Maya said. "Top shelf, please. It's been that kind of day." As the waitress left, Sarah leaned back against the worn leather booth. "Remember when Grandma used to bring us here for fish and chips? Before it became this." She gestured at the rundown interior. "Everything changes," Maya said softly. "But some things stay the same. Like us." The drinks arrived quickly. The sisters raised their glasses in a silent toast to their grandmother, then drank deeply. For a few minutes, they sat in companionable silence, each lost in memories. The door swung open with a bang. 3 police officers entered, and Maya's trained eye immediately assessed them. The one in front, a stocky man in his 40s with sergeant stripes and a prominent beer belly, carried himself with the swagger of someone who'd never been seriously challenged. His name tag read Braddock. The 2 younger officers behind him looked uncomfortable, exchanging glances. Sergeant Braddock's eyes swept the bar and landed on the Chen sisters. His expression hardened. He muttered something to his companions and began walking toward their booth, his hand resting casually on his belt near his service weapon. Maya felt her sister tense beside her. She placed a calming hand on Sarah's knee under the table. "Evening, ladies," Braddock said, his tone making the polite words sound like an accusation. "Mind telling me what you're doing here?" Maya kept her voice level. "Having a drink. Is there a problem, officer?" "This is a respectable establishment," Braddock said, looking them up and down. Both sisters wore simple black dresses from the funeral. "We don't usually see your type in here." Sarah's hand clenched into a fist. "Our type? What exactly do you mean by that?" "I think you know what I mean," Braddock said. He turned to the young waitress who was watching nervously from behind the bar. "Kelly, did these 2 pay for their drinks?" "Why yes, sir," Kelly stammered. "Cash. Up front." "Show me the receipt," Braddock demanded. The waitress hurried over with the slip, her hands shaking. Braddock examined it like a detective studying a crucial piece of evidence, then turned back to the sisters. "Says here you ordered top shelf. That's $30 for 2 drinks. Seems pretty expensive for," he paused meaningfully. "Well, seems expensive." Maya's jaw tightened. She recognized what was happening, had seen it before, though never quite this blatant. "We can afford our drinks, Sergeant. Now if you'll excuse us, we're mourning our grandmother and would like some privacy." "Mourning her?" Braddock's smile was ugly. "Sure you are. I've heard every story. You 2 planning to cause trouble in here? Because I can tell you right now, we don't tolerate troublemakers in this neighborhood." One of the younger officers, whose name tag read Martinez, shifted uncomfortably. "Sarge, maybe we should." "Shut it, Martinez," Braddock snapped without looking back. "I'm handling this." Sarah started to stand, her face flushed with anger, but Maya grabbed her wrist. "Sit down," she said quietly. "This isn't worth it." "Listen to your friend," Braddock said. "Smart girl." "She's my sister," Sarah said through gritted teeth. "Sister, friend, whatever," Braddock waved dismissively. "Point is, I want to see some ID from both of you. And then I think it's time you moved along. This bar serves a certain clientele, if you know what I mean." "We have every right to be here," Maya said, her military training keeping her voice steady despite the rage building inside her. "We've broken no laws. We've caused no disturbance." "I'll decide what constitutes a disturbance," Braddock said. He leaned down, placing his hands on their table, his face close enough that Maya could smell the coffee on his breath. Now, I can do this easy, or I can do this hard. Your choice, ladies. The bar had gone completely silent. Every patron was watching now. The bartender, an older man with grey stubble, stood frozen with a glass in his hand. Martinez spoke up again, his voice stronger this time. Sergeant Braddock, they haven't done anything wrong. Maybe we should just... Martinez, if you value your job, you'll shut your mouth right now, Braddock snarled. That's an order. Maya's mind raced. She could reveal who she was, pull rank in the most spectacular way. But something held her back. She wanted to see how far Braddock would go. She needed to know. We're not leaving, Sarah said suddenly, her voice clear and strong. We have just as much right to be here as anyone else. Braddock straightened up, his hand moving to his handcuffs. Okay, that's it. You two are coming with me. We can sort this out at the station. On what charges? Maya asked. Trespassing. Disturbing the peace. I'll think of something else on the way. Braddock reached for Sarah's arm. Maya moved with the speed and precision of her training, intercepting his hand before it could touch her sister. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Sergeant. Braddock's face turned red. You just assaulted an officer. I prevented you from making an unlawful arrest, Maya corrected. You have no grounds to detain us. You know what? Braddock pulled out his phone. I'm calling for backup. We're going to do this by the book. You two are going to jail tonight. Actually, came a deep voice from the doorway, I don't think they are. Everyone turned. A tall African-American man in a Portland Police Department captain's uniform stood in the entrance, his expression thunderous. Captain James Morrison had 3 decades of service ribbons on his chest and the kind of presence that demanded instant respect. Braddock's face went pale. Captain Morrison. Sir. I saw exactly what you were doing, Braddock, Morrison said, walking into the bar. I was driving by and saw your cruiser. Thought I'd check on my men. His eyes swept over the scene, taking in everything. Imagine my surprise. Sir, these 2 women were, Braddock began. Were what? Having a quiet drink. Mourning their grandmother? Morrison's voice could have cut steel. I've been watching through that window for the past 5 minutes, Sergeant. I saw you harass 2 law-abiding citizens for no reason other than your own prejudice. The third officer, who hadn't spoken at all, looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. With all due respect, sir, Braddock said, though his voice shook, I was just ensuring the safety of this establishment. No, Morrison said flatly. You were abusing your badge. You were engaging in racial profiling. You were violating the civil rights of these women and bringing disgrace to the entire department. He turned to Maya and Sarah. Ladies, I apologize on behalf of the Portland Police Department. You have my word that this matter will be investigated fully. Sarah nodded, but Maya remained still, watching Braddock. The sergeant's face had gone from pale to red again, this time with suppressed fury. Captain, Maya said quietly, I appreciate your intervention. But I think the sergeant should know who he was planning to arrest. Morrison raised an eyebrow. That's your call, Maya reached into her small purse and pulled out a thin leather wallet. She flipped it open to reveal a military ID and a badge. Lieutenant Commander Maya Chen, United States Coast Guard. I'm the commanding officer of Coast Guard Station Portland. The color drained from Braddock's face completely. Sarah smiled grimly and pulled out her own identification. Dr. Sarah Chen, Chief of Emergency Medicine at Portland General Hospital. I also serve as the medical director for the police department's crisis intervention team. Braddock swayed slightly on his feet. Morrison's expression remained stern, but there was a glint of satisfaction in his eyes. Well, Sergeant, have you anything to say to the Lieutenant Commander and Dr. Chen? Braddock's mouth opened and closed like a fish. I didn't know. I mean, you didn't know because you didn't ask, Maya said, standing up to her full height. You saw 2 Asian women in a bar and made assumptions. You decided we didn't belong here. You were prepared to arrest us, to destroy our reputations and possibly our careers, based on nothing but your own bias. I'm sorry, Braddock mumbled, not meeting her eyes. Look at me when you apologize, Maya commanded, and the steel in her voice made every person in the bar stand a little straighter. It was the voice of someone who'd commanded vessels through storms, who'd coordinated rescue operations, who'd made life-and-death decisions. Braddock raised his eyes. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Yes, you were, Maya said. But here's what concerns me most, Sergeant. If Sarah and I had been exactly who you assumed we were, just two ordinary women having a drink, would that have made your behavior acceptable? Braddock didn't answer. Would it? Maya pressed. No, Braddock said quietly. That's right. Because every person in this bar, in this city, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. The badge you wear is supposed to mean you protect and serve everyone, not just the people who look like you or live in the right neighborhoods. Sarah stood beside her sister. I've treated officers in my ER who were injured in the line of duty. I've never once asked about their background or whether they deserved my best care. When you put on that badge, you take an oath. We all take oaths. And we're supposed to mean them. Captain Morrison stepped forward. Sergeant Braddock, you're suspended pending investigation. Badge and gun. Now. Sir, Braddock began. Now, Morrison repeated. With shaking hands, Braddock removed his badge and service weapon, handing them to Morrison. The captain turned to the other two officers. Martinez, Kowalski, you'll both be giving statements about what you witnessed here tonight. Martinez nodded firmly. Yes, sir. I tried to stop him, sir. I know you did, Martinez. I saw. Morrison's expression softened slightly. Sometimes doing the right thing means standing up to your superiors. Remember that. Morrison turned to the sisters. Again, I apologize. If you wish to file a formal complaint, the department will cooperate fully. Maya exchanged a glance with Sarah. We'll think about it, Captain. Right now, we just want to finish our drinks and remember our grandmother. Of course. Morrison gestured to Braddock. Let's go. Out. As the disgraced sergeant shuffled toward the door, Maya called out, Braddock. He turned, hope flickering in his eyes that maybe she'd let him off easier. You should know, Maya said, that tomorrow morning, I have a meeting with the mayor about increased cooperation between the Coast Guard and local police. Dr. Chen is scheduled to present to the City Council about emergency response protocols. We're not going anywhere. We're part of this community, whether you like it or not. Braddock nodded miserably and left, Morrison close behind. Martinez and Kowalski followed, but Martinez paused at the door and looked back at the sisters. I'm sorry, he said simply. He was wrong. Way wrong. Thank you for speaking up, Maya said. That took courage. After they left, the bar slowly came back to life. The bartender approached their table with two fresh drinks. These are on the house, he said. I'm sorry about what happened. Your grandmother, she used to come in here all the time, didn't she? Mrs. Chen. She was a wonderful lady. Always had a kind word. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. You remember her? Of course. She was a regular for 30 years. Claimed we made the best clam chowder in Portland. He smiled sadly. She'd be proud of how you two handled that situation. Real proud. After he left, the sisters sat in silence for a moment, processing everything that had happened. Are you okay? Maya asked. Sarah wiped her eyes. I don't know. I'm angry. I'm sad. I don't even know what I am. That's fair, Maya said. It's been a hell of a day. Do you think he'll actually face any consequences? Sarah asked. Braddock. Maya sipped her drink thoughtfully. Morrison seems like a good man. A fair man. But the system. She trailed off. The system protects its own. We both know that. So we file the complaint, Sarah said firmly. We go on record. We make sure this doesn't happen to someone else. Someone else who might not be a lieutenant commander or a chief of medicine, Maya agreed. Someone who might not have the power to fight back. They drank in silence again, but this time it was a purposeful silence, a determined silence. Grandma would have loved this, Sarah said suddenly, and there was a note of dark humor in her voice. You know how she always said we should use our positions to help people? Maya laughed, a short, sharp sound. She did say that. Often. I think she'd consider this a teaching moment, Sarah said. For Braddock. For Martinez. For everyone who was watching. A teaching moment that started with profound disrespect and harassment, Maya pointed out. Still counts, Sarah said. She raised her glass. To Grandma, who taught us to stand up straight and never back down. Maya clinked her glass against her sister's. To Grandma. They finished their drinks slowly, talking about their grandmother, about the funeral, about everything except what had just happened. But it hung in the air between them, a shared experience that would bond them even more tightly together. As they finally stood to leave, the young waitress, Kelly, approached nervously. I just wanted to say, thank you. For standing up to him. Braddock, I mean. He comes in here sometimes and he's not nice. To a lot of people. You should report him too, Maya said gently. If he's harassed you or others. Kelly bit her lip. I'm just a waitress. Who'd believe me? We would, Sarah said. And so would Captain Morrison, I think. Bad cops rely on good people staying silent. Kelly nodded slowly. I'll think about it. Outside, the night air was cool and clean. The sisters walked toward Maya's car, parked a block away. I hate that this happened, Sarah said. I hate that in 2025, we still have to deal with this garbage. I know, Maya said. But here's what I learned tonight, or maybe relearned. We can't control other people's prejudices. We can only control our response. And our response was dignified, powerful, and effective. Grandma would be proud, Sarah repeated. Yeah, Maya agreed. She really would. They reached the car, but before getting in, Maya looked back at the Anchor's Rest. Through the window, she could see the bartender talking animatedly to some of the patrons, probably recounting what had happened. You know what? Maya said. We should come back here. Not tonight, but soon. We should make a point of coming back. Sarah looked at her in surprise. Really? Really? Because this is our city too. This was Grandma's bar. And we don't let people like Braddock drive us away from places we have every right to be. Sarah smiled, and this time it reached her eyes. Okay. Next week. Next week, Maya confirmed. As they drove through the quiet streets of Portland, heading back to their grandmother's house where they'd be sleeping that night, Maya thought about all the times in her career she'd faced doubts, challenges, and yes, discrimination. She'd overcome it all through competence, determination, and refusing to accept other people's limitations. You're thinking deep thoughts, Sarah observed from the passenger seat. Just thinking about the future, Maya said. About what we tell our nieces and nephews when they face this kind of thing. What would you tell them? Maya was quiet for a moment. I'd tell them that their dignity is not determined by other people's respect. I'd tell them that their worth is inherent, not granted by badges or titles or positions. And I'd tell them that when they have power and authority, they have a responsibility to use it wisely and to remember what it felt like to be powerless. That's good, Sarah said. That's really good. Grandma taught me that, Maya said softly. She taught us both. 3 weeks later, Maya sat in her office at Coast Guard Station Portland, reviewing a stack of reports. There was a knock on her door. Come in, she called. Martinez entered, in civilian clothes, looking nervous. Lieutenant Commander Chen? I hope you don't mind. I called ahead and your assistant said you might have a few minutes. Officer Martinez, Maya said, gesturing to a chair. Please, sit. What can I do for you? I wanted to tell you in person, Braddock was fired. The investigation found a pattern of behavior going back years. Multiple complaints that had been buried. Captain Morrison made sure this time was different. That's good news, Maya said. How are you doing? Martinez shifted uncomfortably. Honestly, I feel guilty. I should have done more that night. I should have stopped him sooner. And I should have reported his behavior before it got to that point. You spoke up when it mattered, Maya said. That counts for something. But I didn't speak up all the other times, Martinez said. There were signs. Things he said, ways he treated people. I told myself it wasn't my place to rock the boat, that I was too junior. But that was cowardly. Maya studied the young officer. He couldn't have been more than 25, fresh-faced and earnest. Officer Martinez, do you know why I didn't immediately pull rank that night? He shook his head. Because I wanted to see how far he'd go. I wanted to witness, firsthand, how a bad cop operates when he thinks no one with power is watching. And you know what? I also saw a good cop wrestling with his conscience. You. I didn't do enough, Martinez insisted. Maybe not, Maya agreed. But you did something. And now you have a choice. You can carry this guilt, or you can use it. Let it make you a better officer. Be the one who speaks up earlier next time. Be the one who doesn't wait until the situation is critical. Martinez nodded slowly. Captain Morrison said something similar. He's making me the department's new liaison for community relations. He said if I felt guilty, I should channel it into something productive. Smart man, Maya said. And for what it's worth, I think you'll do a good job. Thank you, Martinez stood. I won't take up any more of your time. I wanted you to know about Braddock. And to say thank you for not giving up on all of us because of one bad cop. After he left, Maya returned to her reports, but her mind wandered. She thought about the ripple effects of that night. Braddock fired, Martinez redirected toward community service, Kelly the waitress who had eventually filed her own complaint. Change, real change, was slow and imperfect. But it was possible. Her phone buzzed. A text from Sarah, dinner at the Anchor's Rest tonight? Bartender says he named a drink after Grandma. Maya smiled and typed back, absolutely. 7 p.m.? Perfect. Love you, Commander. Love you too, Doctor. As the sun set over Portland Harbor, painting the water in shades of orange and gold, Maya stood at her window and looked out at the Coast Guard vessels under her command. Tomorrow, she'd lead a training exercise. Next week, a crucial meeting with city officials. Next month, who knew? But tonight, she'd have a drink named after her grandmother, in a bar that was rightfully hers and her sister's, in a city they refused to be driven from. And that, she thought, was its own kind of victory.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.